Welcome back to the third and final part of our FCX18 K10 build-off between myself, Adam from Crawlers and Wayne from Crawlstock RC. So in this video I'm going to be answering some of your questions. I'm going to give my feedback on each build and talk about what I would probably do differently if I was to do my build again. We're also going to get some running footage of me running this thing in the mud, which was the thing I was kind of most looking forward to doing. As you know me, I do love a bit of mud. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody's support, all the really positive comments that we've all had across all three channels. It's been a really cool build. It's been really nice to see what each of us has done slightly differently with their own build, you know, Adam's style, Wayne's style versus my style. You know, it's been really, really good fun. But yeah, thank you very much for all your comments and everything. It's been absolutely awesome. So first of all, let's get into your questions. So I pinched my son's phone so I can read off the comments. So the first one we've got was, why did none of you opt for a brushless system? Was it a rule or just something you decided on? Good question. I mean, for me, I don't know about the other guys, I can't talk for them. It wasn't a rule, you know, it was a free-for-all. You could do whatever you wanted to your rig, basically. So if you wanted to throw £1,000 at it, you could throw £1,000 at it. For me personally, I think the stock slow speed control on the FCX18 is brilliant. And because I wanted to run this thing in the mud and water, you know, most of the brushless systems, especially if they're outrunners, they're not waterproof. So I didn't want to, you know, faff around trying to get like, you know, the new Fusion in there or something like that. You know, for me, I think the stock electronics are more than adequate. You've got really good slow speed control. You've got that 2-speed gearbox anyway. You know, yeah, I didn't really see a need, especially for what I was building my truck for, which was more of obviously kind of like a trail truck with it being a farm truck. You know, I don't really need to be doing like really fine control climbing rocks or anything like that. And as you saw in the second video, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But it was absolutely fantastic on the rocks. So yeah, no rule, just basically personal choice. I didn't see a need. Next question is, am I able to buy it off you? I live in New Zealand. Well, I'm not going to sell this one because I absolutely love it. However, one thing I was thinking about doing is I keep meaning to start the raffles, the competitions. And one idea I did have was to start doing builds like this, where I effectively build a rig like this, you know, take you guys through the journey. You know, we do all the mods and stuff like that. Maybe you guys can even vote on what mods you want me to do. And then effectively, yeah, I put that up on the raffle so that somebody can win it. But yeah, I'm not selling this one. This one's mine as a keeper, I'm afraid. So next question is from Crawlstock RC. Don't know who he is, never heard of him. Can you tell us the names of all the chicken and the geese and how do you get them to stand still? Well, I don't know about the geese, but the chicken Indy's holding is called Hands Off, and then the next one's lunch and the next one's dinner. Yeah, I haven't named the geese, to be honest. And how do I get them to stand still? I'm really cruel. I super glued their feet, so they're not going anywhere. Okay, next question's a good one. How much did the whole build cost in US dollars? Now, obviously, bear in mind, one of the nice things about being a YouTuber is you get sent a lot of stuff for free. So I've done some scribbling down here on a piece of paper to work out what it actually cost me. So if you were to buy it all yourself, you know, the flatbed, which Fair RC do a slightly different one. They don't do this exact one. They were very kind to send me this one. But the flatbed, the front bumper, the steering servo, the brass inserts, the tyres, the brass portals, what else? We got the interior, you know, the wood panels, Indiana Jones, the animals. Basically, if you were to buy it all yourself, I worked out the total would cost $128, which is, you know, not bad, to be fair. But to me, it actually only cost me like $70 because I actually got the flatbed for free. I got the front bumper for free. I got the portal covers for free. So the only things I had to buy was effectively the tyres, the brass inserts, the interior, the animals, Indiana Jones, the pieces of wood and so on. So yeah, $128 total if you were going to build it yourself, obviously excluding the truck. If you did want to get the truck, both Fair RC and FMS have got an October sale at the moment, so you could pick up a stock FCX18 K10 for $149, I think it is, or $159. Absolute bargain in my opinion. And if you want brushless, going back to the previous person's question, you can actually pick up an FCX24 Pro at the moment, I think for $159, which is just insane. Check those sales out. I'll put links in the description to the sales if you want to check those out, because yeah, some awesome savings. And the last questions we got is actually 4 separate questions from the same viewer. So the first question is about the stock servo. Basically, like, what would the rig be like if you would just use the stock servo instead of the upgraded servo? I mean, to be fair, when when I ran it in the mud, the upgraded steering servo did actually do a pretty decent job. You know, it wasn't amazing, to be fair, but, you know, a lot of the like cheaper servos, you know, sometimes what the rating they say they are isn't necessarily what they actually say. And a lot of time the rating they give you is only if you're running it at like, you know, a higher voltage, which obviously then you need like a separate beck or brushless system and stuff like that. I would say, to be honest, one of the main downfalls of the stock steering servo is the servo saver. In my opinion, you don't need a servo saver on a crawler. I think it's pointless. But it does hinder you because obviously as you start to get stuck on stuff, it's the saver that's moving, not the actual steering servo. So, you know, you might be fine with a stock steering servo. This is the first FMS mini crawler I've actually upgraded the steering servo. All the rest, even when I've mudded them, I've just used the stock steering servo. So they're not bad, but obviously it was an upgrade that I thought would be worth doing because I wanted to eliminate that servo saver and, you know, I wanted to see what a more powerful steering servo would be like. But hopefully that answers your question. The next question was like, what would it look like if we actually had a spotlight kind of illuminating the rear bed? Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I did originally think about putting some roof lights on there and stuff, but I couldn't find something that I wanted that would work. And to be honest, I was a bit more concerned about rollovers and them just kind of smashing off, to be quite honest. You could probably get away with using something like off the LC80. But yeah, cool idea. You know, it is a cool idea to light up the bed, especially in the dark, and that would be pretty cool. Next question was about the axles that obviously I was going to use, but I decided they weren't quite in keeping with the style of the rig. Yeah, I mean, basically with brass axles, yeah, most of the time they're not full brass like those ones. They were effectively aluminium with brass pieces, so much heavier than stock. So obviously the rig is going to perform much better on the rocks, at least climbing, because obviously you can have a lot more low down weight. Another reason why I didn't necessarily want to go for those axles in the end, thinking about the direction I went with this truck, was because the heavier you make your rig, if you're going to use it in the mud, it just sinks. You know, my TRX4, for example, you know, is brushless. It's got loads of brass on it, but the problem is it ends up becoming too heavy that as soon as you start going to the mud, it just sinks. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but I got a video on my channel where we just did a bit of a mud run with the FCX10 from FMS, the K5, and the TRX4. And the TRX4 is a beast. But of course the FCX10 was just so much lighter that it just glides through the mud, whereas the TRX4 just kind of plows into it because it's so much heavier. So yeah, sometimes it really depends on what you're going to use your rig for. Rock crawling, great, yeah, bit of low down weight is going to make a difference. But for something that you're going to send through the mud, then I would suggest you actually don't want too much weight because it'll just sink. In regards to, like, you know, if I was to do like a follow-up, yeah, I mean, it's dead easy to change the axles over, to be honest, because they come already with all the metal diffs and everything like that. It's not a hard job to do. I've got other videos on the channel where I have upgraded FMS rigs, and I'm actually going to be doing a full build soon on an FCX18 LC80 as well. So, you know, be sure to check that out on the channel. But yeah, it's not hard to do, but it's not something I'm going to do on this rig, to be perfectly honest. I'm quite happy with how it is now. I'll use those axles on something else. And then the last point was about the squish in the tyres. Yeah, I completely understand it, and I did say in the video that I completely appreciate that that's not very practical. You know, I mean, pretty much with them being this squishy, you've got like no sidewall. It just rolls over. You know, they do collapse. You might be able to see, but I think it's slightly worse on this side. I don't know if you can see. But after running it in the mud, and I knew it would happen, but after running it in the mud and water, it just destroys your foams. You know, you don't want to run vented tyres with soft foams in mud and water. They will literally last all of one run and they'll be kaput. So, yeah. But for me, it's just, you know, I'm not always about being super practical. I like just having fun. And for me, I find it entertaining. You know, the squish, I love the way it looks. I love the way they crease when they're moving on the rock. So, you know, I just like it to look cool sometimes, you know. I know it's still going to perform and still do its job, so I'm not massively bothered about the performance. But yes, I mean, obviously you want inserts really. If you're going to run them vented and you're going to get them wet, you need silicone inserts or 3D printed inserts, something like that, because your foams will just get destroyed. And that's what these are like now. You know, they are just toast. I mean, they're no good anymore, but I knew that was going to be the case. That's absolutely fine. And for me, in my opinion, you know, you see a lot of old like farm trucks and old trucks, like, you know, we live in the UK, we get tractors driving around. They've always got flat tires, you know, and they're driving along bouncing. You can see that tire just bouncing and squishing, and I just think it looks really cool, and it just makes me laugh because it's like, you know, the truck, the idea is you don't really care about it. It's just doing its job. It's meant to move the animals around, and you know, it's got flat tires. So for me, I think it was really, really cool. So I hope that answered all of your questions. Thank you very much to everyone that did post a question. I will reply to your comments as well. If anybody else has got any questions, then just obviously either drop them on the video and then I can just reply to you via the comments. So let's have a little talk about each build, what I thought about it, and in my opinion, if I had done it, what I would do slightly differently. So we'll start with Adam's. Obviously he went for what I call the green machine, so he went for that really nice looking candy green paint job on his. You know, he did a really good job on his build. It looks really nice. I know obviously he didn't get some parts and stuff like that, so he didn't manage to do it exactly how he wanted to do it, which is a shame. But I think he did a really good job with what he had. I think the only things that I would have changed on his build, to be perfectly honest, I would have probably gone for slightly smaller tyres because, you know, you could see they were rubbing quite a bit on the body, which is then obviously kind of hindering the performance. And then the only other thing I probably would have done is just painting that toolbox. I think if he painted that toolbox black, I think it would look much nicer than just having it in the grey. Maybe chuck a few more accessories in the back, so maybe a couple of spare wheels or something like that. But yeah, otherwise, you know, really cool build. I did really like it. Wayne's build, absolutely awesome. I knew I'd have my work cut out to beat Wayne because he does some fantastic builds. I mean, the 10th scale, I probably just can't even compete, to be honest, because if you haven't seen his 10th scale builds, his Wrecker, his Mac, just so cool. I almost bought his Boba Fett build. He sold it at SST and I was like, oh, do I buy it? But I didn't, but it was absolutely awesome. I absolutely love that thing. I think he did a fantastic job. I love the tow truck build that he went for. You know, it just looks awesome with the towing arms he's got, all the chains and everything hanging off it. That front bumper just looks so cool. I think the only thing I wasn't fussed on with his wheels. I don't think the wheels really suited the rig. I think if he'd gone for some different wheels, I think it would have looked much better, but that's just my 2p. And then for my build, you know, really happy with how my build came out. I think the only things I would probably do differently would be, I wanted to put a bit more detail into the interior, maybe a couple of like boxes, accessories, a few cans or something like that, I don't know. Obviously, you know, I love my squish on the rocks, but yeah, you know, really I should have gone for some silicone inserts or something in my tyres. Now, the other thing that I didn't realise at the time, and you'll see when we get to the running footage in a minute, is I would actually change the wheels. I originally really liked these wheels and what I did weathering them, but unfortunately the bead lock on them isn't very strong. So when I ran them in the mud, after we got a bit of mud and water in there, the tyres were just spinning on the wheels. So obviously that then hindered my performance. Didn't have a problem on the rocks, it was just once they got wet. But otherwise, I am super happy with how this build went. I really enjoyed it. It was great fun doing the build with Wayne and Adam. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Hopefully we'll get another one going at some point soon. If you've got any suggestions on something you'd like to see me build on the channel, then drop a comment below and let me know, because I'm always game for a challenge. Appreciate all the fantastic feedback and everything we had. You know, appreciate all the support everybody's given to Wayne as well, because he's a really top bloke and he does some fantastic stuff. And obviously he's still kind of in the early stages of his YouTube journey. So any support you guys can give him would just be absolutely fantastic. We're going to get to the running footage now so you can see what it was like in the mud and on the trail. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching and enjoy the running footage, and we'll see you on the next one. Some nice slow crawling on that stock ESC. That's more like it. Oh, against that. No, we're good, we're good. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, nice and deep. Nice. Go on. Spinning some wheels. Don't know if you can see there, look, but the stock wheels
are actually spinning in the tyres. I thought for a minute we didn't have drive to all 4 wheels, but actually the bead locks on these plastic wheels aren't the best. They're not sealing properly on the tyres, so that's a bit of an issue. You can't even see them anymore, so I might have to change for something else maybe, but there we go. When we got some drive, we're doing alright. Yeah, the wheels are just spinning in the tyres. That is hysterical. We obviously don't like mud. Wow, this is a bit of a fail, isn't it, on my part? Come on, stop spinning in the tyres and actually get some grip. Even the reeler as well. Oh dear, okay, so I definitely need to change the wheels then. No, my life. Okay, let's go this way. There we go, there we go. Come on, you stupid wheels. Oh, this is spoiling my fun. Now let's straight away, look, as soon as we're getting stuck, they are just spinning. So there you go. Not a very good bead luck on those stock K5 wheels, unfortunately. Surprised we didn't notice on the rocks, but obviously in the mud it's getting full on stuck. Like you can see, as soon as it kind of goes in there, I keep picking the deepest bit to go in. As soon as it starts getting kind of stuck, they're just kind of spinning. Let's try and go super slow. See if we can keep pushing through. There we go, that's not bad. We're going to persevere. Hey, there we go. Oh, I love that body roll. It's so cool. Let's try and get it in a little bit of a deeper hole a minute and just see if it still manages to turn. We'll go into this little dip, which is my welly. Yeah, you can see we still got plenty of power on the servo there. We are well and truly stuck. Come on, you can push through, old farm truck. Oh. Yes, go on. Oh no, now our tyres, wheels are spinning on the tyres again. Come on. Yeah, you can see the servo's fine there. We just got no drive, basically. These were just spinning wheels. Brings a whole new meaning to the word wheel spinning, doesn't it? See if we can get it out of here. Is it our mission to get out of here? Oh. Those stupid tyres. Well, not tyres, stupid wheels. Tyres are good. Yeah, go on, go on, go on, go on. Oh, it keeps ending up in that same spot, doesn't it? We'll eventually push out. Oh, yes! Come on, get some drive. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. There you go, that was worth the whole build, that was, just to do that. Man, that's deep. If we had non-spinning wheels, we'd probably be able to do that alright. Man, that is deep. Okay, I think we might be stuck in that one. Come on, break free. Okay, no, I think we're just kind of beached in the middle and full on stuck. I think that might make a cool picture, so I'm going to stop and take a picture of that in a minute, because that is deep. If it can carry on and push its own way out now. Without sinking straight back in. Yay, go on. Yeah, you can see just those tyres just keep spinning on the wheels. If we go slow and kind of wriggle, it's not too bad. It does look cool going through the mud though. My favourite thing to do. I love that body roll, just where it kind of like twists and rolls, just looks so cool.